Hi YouTube! Before I get into the vlog, I just wanted to show you the new fresh snowfall we got in Colorado today. We got another 8 to 10 inches, and you're about to see the puppies having some fun frolicking in the snow. They just love frolicking in the snow. They have a lot of fun chasing each other any time of year, but when the snow is out, they just have a lot of fun. Hi YouTube! Welcome to day 10 of my birthday countdown vlog. 30 days until I turn 40. And once again we have a little visitor. This time it's Joey, who has decided he wants to be up on the couch with me, at least for the initial bits of this video. Alright, so when I was 30, that would have been 2002, that year, as you heard from yesterday's video, I dealt a lot with credit card debt and financial problems, and obviously it wasn't just that year. And one of the things I decided in 2002 as a way of trying to save money and pay off my credit cards was to get a cheaper place to live. So that was one of my main goals that year, was to, when my lease was up, to look for a new apartment. And so that's what I did, and I spent a lot of time looking around and looking at different places. A lot of places that I found were very small, studios, and I was in a one-bedroom already, and a lot of the places were so small I would have had to get rid of most of my furniture, and I really wasn't happy with having to do that. I knew that I was going to have to downsize to a degree, but I didn't want to have to downsize that much. So at the end of the day, I just decided to just keep looking until I found the right thing, but you know, time was starting to run out, and I was starting to get a little worried that I wasn't going to find a place before my lease expired. So one day I was looking actually at a really tiny studio, and I was looking at it, and it was really close to the area I was already living in, which was good, but it was so tiny, and it was really somewhat dismaying to have to find a to have to move into an apartment quite that small, although it was available immediately and everything. And so that was another one of the problems I was having, was finding places that were the right size, that were available when I needed to move in. And so when I was at the studio, the lady who was showing it to me said, "Oh, by the way, our sister property over on this and this street is having a special deal right now with apartments. So why don't you go over there and check it out?" So I just drove over there the same day and went into their office and talked to them. And they actually were having some good deals. They showed me one bedroom apartment that was available immediately, and it actually wasn't that much smaller than my existing apartment. In fact, it felt bigger on the inside. The layout was actually better. And where the place I was living was costing me about $725 a month, and with the lease renewal they were going to actually raise it to $775 a month, plus they were charging about $75 a month per animal. And I had one cat, and I was going to adopt a second cat, and I was like, oh, that's going to be $150 a month extra. And the new place was only $25 per animal for a pet rent. So and the apartment was going to be $625 a month. So that was a much better deal, paying $675 a month rather than $800, $900. It was going to be almost $900, $950 a month with the other apartment. So that was going to save me quite a bit of money and give me more money towards paying off my credit cards, which is what I needed to do. So that was a big adventure. Was finding the apartment and then doing the move, packing everything myself, renting a U-Haul, and bribing friends of mine with beer and pizza to help me move. And I actually had one friend of mine, her family needed a place to stay because they were remodeling their house, and I actually still had about 2 weeks left on my lease of my old apartment when I decided to move into the new one. And so my friend said, hey, you know, I'll give you that half a month's rent if you let us stay there for those 2 weeks. And I was like, sure, why not? So they moved in the day after I moved out. Friends of mine actually helped me clean the apartment and get it all ready for them. And then at the end of the 2 weeks that they stayed there, when the lease was finally up, they actually hired a carpet cleaner and got the whole place completely scrubbed clean, and then you know, let me turn in the key and close out that lease. So that was actually a good thing, and so I was very grateful for all the friends I had, and I didn't have to pay rent on 2 apartments for half of a month and all that jazz. So that was a really good thing. And then, like I said, that near the end of that year, I did decide to adopt another kitty cat. So that's when I adopted Maury. Maxie was almost a year old, and he's the kind of cat that really likes to cuddle and really likes to have companionship. And he got really lonely when I wasn't home. And I traveled a lot. I was going out to California on business trips about 5 or 6 times a year at this point, and I felt bad leaving him alone. I didn't want to, you know, send him to a pet's hotel or anything like that, and because he would just sit in the cage the whole time anyway. It's not like kitty cats go out and have little playtimes like doggies do. And I did have friends who would check in on him and everything, but for the most part he was at home alone all day, other than someone coming in every other day and making sure his food was okay and his water was okay and his litter box was clean. Other than that, he was alone, and I felt bad for him, so I thought, well, let me get another kitty cat to keep him company. And I looked all over town looking, because I really wanted a baby. I wanted a kitten. Introducing a kitten to an adult cat is much easier than trying to get 2 adult cats to get along with each other. And I really wanted a male, because I've always had male cats, and so I really wanted a male. So I finally found a male cat ready for adoption at Petco through Humane Society. And I went over there, and he was this cute little, scrubby little thing. And I thought, well, you know, he's male, he's cute, he was about 2 months old at the time, and I was like, okay, I'll take him. And I brought him home, and he was so scraggly looking, and he was sort of a tan and gray color. Actually, he's actually tan and white. There's a baby Mori, and then I'll also put up a full adult Mori photo so you can see. He's actually a nice tan and white color, real fluffy, adorable kitty. But when I first got him, he just looked like a little ugly duckling, I guess. He was just awful. And then on top of that, I didn't realize when I adopted him he was actually really sick. He had an upper respiratory infection. The morning after I adopted him, because I got him on a Friday night, he was burning up with a fever. Now, I know that cats run warmer than humans, but he was running way too warm for my comfort. And I had to take him into emergency pet services, and they were like, yes, he's running a high fever. And they had to take a syringe. The syringe was like this big. It was huge. It was almost as big as he was, because he was this tiny little ball of fur still. And they had to rehydrate him, so he was dehydrated, he was burning up with a fever. They had to give him antibiotics, and it took about 2 months with daily antibiotic dosages to get him nursed back to health. His nose was all stuffed up, and when kitty cats can't breathe, or can't breathe through their nose, and they can't smell their food, they won't eat. And so there was a real danger of him starving to death. So another thing I had to do then was I took wet canned food and water, and I pureed that, and then had a dropper feed him that, so that way he would get enough food and water while he was so sick. And it just broke my heart. The poor little thing was such a little mess, and because he really did not like, once he started feeling better, he did not like the daily, twice-a-day ritual of the medicine and the food, the force feeding that I was doing. But I was like, hey, as long as you're not eating, I've got to do this, kiddo. But at the end of the day, he was sort of taken under the wing of my older cat, Maxie. Maxie would hold him down and wash him and just take care of him. and they bonded, and they became like really like best friends, which was great. It was exactly what I was hoping would happen for those two. But at the same time, little Maury hated me. He could not stand me because for him, I was the bad person who picked him up twice a day and held him down on my lap and made him swallow stuff that he didn't want to swallow. So it took me a long time after he got healthy to ingratiate myself with him and make him realize that I wasn't the bad evil person that I was. Although, I mean, he slowly but surely warmed up to me at this point. He, if he feels like it, he'll sit on my lap. But he really is like, stay away from me still, most of the time. He's like, don't come near me, don't pet me. If I want to be pet, I'll let you know. Where Maxie is just like, oh, Mommy, I just want to hug you. Please be in my lap. Please let me be in your lap, and just please let me love you, and kneading and purring and all that stuff. So Maxie's definitely much more of the touchy-feely, opposite of a cat kind of personality, and Mori is definitely more of the aloof personality, stemming back to the early trauma that he suffered as a poor kitten. So those were the two big things that happened to me in 2002: was new apartment and sick nursing back to health a sick kitty cat. So, all right. Well, until tomorrow. Bye.